Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Midcoast Community Council regular meeting of February 25th, 2026. Council members, please introduce yourself.
Doc Bollinger.
Claire Tom.
Kimberly Williams.
Connie Santilli.
The secretary could please record those present, and Gus Mottamal is absent.
Maybe Snow.
We expect you to join later. First item on the agenda is Board of Supervisors report and reports from other government officials. Is someone from Half Moon Bay City Council here?
No.
I think so. Marisol is here. Marisol, would you like to go ahead and give us a report?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm using two devices tonight because my computer audio is not functioning right now. So the only update that I have right now is that the contract has been reviewed by County Council, and Connie informed me that she will send to Connie with more instructions by tomorrow.
That's great news.
Okay. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thanks.
Does anyone have questions for Marisol?
I have one. Hey Marisol, thanks for joining. Hey, I sent information over to Ray and Nicholas about the California Public Utilities Commission's map. Can you getting an update on that? Because I know they were both trying to lean into that. I haven't heard anything back.
Okay, I'll check with Nicholas.
Okay, thank you.
To see if there's any new follow-up.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are there any other government officials online that would like to give a report?
I have a question for Marisol.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, hi Marisol. Thanks for giving your report.
Hi, Dan. Good evening.
Hi. As you know, there's this enormous Caltrans project currently called the multi-asset rehabilitation project. And I was on the MCC when
Recording in progress.
Caltrans brought this to us, but it was so densely packed with so many different elements that it was no possible way to really fully understand what they were doing. And I'm getting conflicting reports from the contractor that's installing the new light traffic signal poles up and down at least at Capistrano Coronado, at Frenchman's Creek, and I think in Half Moon Bay. But also, so I'm getting conflicting reports about additional crosswalks at Capistrano and Coronado. The lighting, the traffic signal contractor is saying one thing, and then somebody from Caltrans is saying something different. So I'm asking for support from your office, Ray Mueller's office, to encourage some kind of an update to the community about what's going on. I mean, they have all these barricades, and we just don't know, what is the purpose of some of these barricades, and what actual work. Some of it's general, but there's just very limited detail. There's really no real clear details about this. So, I've asked the MCC to reach out and try to have some kind of an update, but we'll probably take the encouragement of support of Ray Mueller to. So is that something that think that we could talk about? Getting some type of an update to the community and more detail about what work is going to happen.
Okay, so
sorry, Marisol. Chanda Singh is going to be here March 25th to talk about some of these things. Do you feel that you need a response before then?
Well, I'm trying, being proactive, trying to get, I think the community deserves to be informed as to the changes that are gonna be happening to Highway 1.
Marisol, do you have anything to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna just say, I can connect with, Shonda and just see if this is something that they can answer to, or if it requires more from the supervisor's office.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah, yeah, as long as supervisor
So,
office knows that, we're interested. A lot of people in
so,
the community are interested.
so
So
Dan, just to understand, you're basically just wanting to clarify why there's a different message that you're getting from the contractor versus
broad,
Caltrans?
no, broad details about what's gonna happen, typically when if somebody's gonna build a house, there's publicly available details about what they're gonna build.
Okay,
So it's kind of the same, just more details. Yeah, more details about
okay,
the intersections, et cetera.
okay, thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Marisol? I don't see any hands raised. Okay, thank you, Marisol.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Are there any other government officials present who would like to give a report? I don't see anybody. In which case, we'll move on to the next item, which is Claire.
I'd like to just say that we have some people that probably aren't here tonight because they're at the Harbor District meeting, which is scheduled for the same time as our meeting. So that's part of why we don't have more reports.
Okay. Acknowledged. We're gonna move on to public comments and announcements. Members of the public may speak up to 3 minutes on any matter not listed on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the MCC. Those wishing to speak on a specific agenda item will be given the opportunity to do so during consideration of each agenda item. Do we have any public comments? Lynn Erickson?
I'm here. I'm here. Would you like me to go
Please
ahead?
go ahead.
Okay, I'm Lynn Erickson, formerly a resident of El Granada, now a resident of Los Altos in Santa Clara County. While a resident in the local area, I served on the MCC and was active in either initiating or participating in transportation projects and policies. While a resident of San Mateo County, I was active in the citizen appeal to approve the CDPs for the SR1 rehabilitation project, both in the Midcoast and the city of Half Moon Bay. The most specific statement coming from the Coastal Commission ruling on the appeal was that Caltrans should provide 75 free parking spaces near Surfers Beach to compensate for the loss of parking due to the installation of Class 2 bicycle lanes. The deadline for Caltrans to submit that plan was November 14th of 2025. That time passed and Caltrans was given an additional 6-month extension to bring this plan forward. I will present my thoughts on how these requirements could be met to Caltrans, San Mateo government, and the Coastal Commission and Supervisor Miller. If they come forward to the MCC meeting, which I expect, I will be happy to participate or send those considerations. And I will also send to the chair of MCC what I sent to the supervisor.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Ann Rothman?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, super. I got it right this time. I actually just wanted to call in with the same thing I called in last meeting, and that is to see if it's at all possible to get the council to write a letter to MidPen to request that the housing in Moss Beach be 55 and older, especially in light of the budget information that was presented at the February 10th Board of Supervisors meeting that showed that 63% of all the people living in the county below the poverty line are 55 and older. This was exactly what I found back when I was on the MCC. I found in Moss Beach in particular, this is exactly what was the case back when they were proposing the Mid-Penn Cypress Point, that it should go to seniors. We even, I think, may have made a statement to that effect. But I think it might be helpful if we reiterate the concern that we have for this vulnerable population, and if there's anything we can do to see if, prior to them finishing, if they can designate that, with the funding. I am not clear exactly what their funding is, but I don't believe that there was any age restriction ever put on it. So if that could be a possibility, if they can include that now, that would be helpful, especially because the county did give millions of dollars, as our tax dollars has gone into the funding to get Cypress Point built. And I think since it's our tax dollars, we should have some say as to who it helps. And when you have a community where 63% of the people are living below the poverty line, I can't imagine who is more deserving than them to have the housing. That's that point. And then I don't know how much time I have left, but I also wanted to request that maybe with the board, when you do have budgets, like when they are giving the information at the Board of Supervisors about budgets, that maybe one of the members, I don't know if you can attend from Zoom, but if you can't attend by Zoom, if you could just watch the video in its entirety, I think it would be helpful just for information for the coast, because you'll see how much money is given to the other areas, the unincorporated areas that are not the coast. And I think it's a real eye opener when you see just how much money other areas get and how little the coast gets. And so that's just my 2 cents, just to let you know that, because I feel like you don't always get the full picture, especially because the reports that you get, at least I feel from the county, seem to be minimal at best. So I think it would be great to really keep the coast informed. And the best way to do it is to hear the entire meeting, because you really get a lot more information from it than you do from the people kind of secondhand. So that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ann. Dan Haggerty.
Yes, thank you. I want to say I agree 100% with Ann Rothman regarding senior housing seems to make the most sense for that sensitive area, Cypress Point. And everything she said, really, community should be informed, etc. I sent an email out to the MCC regarding some of the notices that the Department of Public Works, San Mateo County, as far as road work planned. Not exactly sure when it's going to start, but I want to raise the attention that I believe it was the early 1990s, that Avenue Hambra, the sidewalk along Avenue Hambra was redone, and it's beautiful today. Most 99% of it. It was specially colored, special texture, and Department of Public Works has already done some curb cut-ins and adding ADA pads. Those yellow, now they're gray. At least the last ones they put in are gray, and hopefully they're going to stay gray. This issue was brought up years ago, and I know that Lisa Ketchum was supporting the concept of the gray pads, etc. But I wanted the council to know that around the press cafe, there has already been I think 5 or 6 different curb cut-ins. It took a lot more effort for me talking directly to Department of Public Works. Finally, they agreed when they did the first cut-ins to match. They didn't know that it was a special concrete color and texture. They just didn't know, and I pleaded with them to do the best, not expecting perfection, but at least try to match the color. They did on the first ones, and you go there, you don't even notice it. It blends in. Since then, they did some others directly in front of the press cafe that was not colored. It just slipped by. The director promised me that it was be written in the contracts and everything that that would all be matched, but one of them slipped by, and then the next one, like a week later, was done right. So just to inform the current council that stuff like this, uh, apparently you just have to stay on top of Department of Public Works. They forget things. They need to be reminded, and they need to be checked. So I'm asking that the MCC calls Department of Public Works and have them come in to the MCC agendas and keep the community informed. Let us know what they're doing. There's this element of complete streets now that I don't know exactly what they're talking about, what they're going to do, but we want to know. Um, and we want it done, as best as possible to match and to minimize any damage to this beautifully planned and designed existing sidewalk all the way down Alhambra. And then I already brought up the request for Caltrans updates and details. So I'll stop there. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
I can't raise my hand. Can you acknowledge me?
Clearly, yeah.
Thank
Cynthia,
you.
please go ahead.
I just want to say that yesterday, last night, well, let's see, this was this morning, but yesterday was the Harbor District meeting, and I only saw the Zoom today on YouTube, but they are struggling at the Pelagic Restaurant Group. And if you could, I would just like to recommend to the public to try to patronize the Harbor restaurant that's down there, the Catch HMB and the fish market, and then they have the other little space that's right next to where used to be Prince and Seafood Company. And as some of you may or may not know, the owner, David Westendorf, came down after they started remodeling and upgrading those old restaurants that were there. He came down with stage 4 cancer, a rare cancer. He was being treated down in San Diego, and they had to kind of cut back the hours on the restaurant, that sort of thing. So the Harbor District did give them a little bit of a rent reduction, and they're trying to get it again, but I guess there's been some, I don't know what you call it, consternation over that. And you just have to watch the meeting, but it wasn't going well. So they did get a rent reduction, and they're trying to take it back now. So they're going to be going into closed session about it, and there was some stuff being hurled about back and forth on that. But I think as the public, we can all just try to support them, because the last thing that I want to see is a vacant storefront back down there while litigation occurs during the tourist season and the salmon season, and have just a vacant restaurant. We all hated it when the Catch closed and there was nothing down there. Nobody was there to, serve our needs when we wanted to go out for dinner or just hang out at the harbor. So that's what I wanted to say. And if you guys want to look into it, watch the video, maybe write a letter in support of the restaurant, I think that would be a humane thing to do. But anyway.
Thank you, Sid.
Sure. Thanks.
Are there any other public comments? I don't see any hands raised online. Anyone in the room? Okay, are there any announcements from the council? I don't think so. So I'm closing public comment. We're going to go on to the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Okay.
We'll call the roll. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay, minutes approved. That brings us to the regular agenda, and unfortunately, we're gonna do some shifting around here because we do not have a letter to review. So I'm gonna ask for postponement of this item to the next meeting.
So should I move that we remove that one agenda item?
Yes.
Okay, I move, we remove that agenda item.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Could you please call the roll?
Scott? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Kimberly?
It's,
Connie?
Yes.
okay. Item 5A is postponed to the next meeting.
I'm sorry, there was, I withheld comment, public comment on a special item because it was on the agenda. And now that it's not on the agenda, you're removing it, then I lost my opportunity to say at public comment, about this. I just very short.
Dan, would you like to comment on the item when it comes up on the agenda the next time? Because we can't discuss, well,
Well, do you see the conundrum? I
I do see the problem, yes.
think that I should have an opportunity,
Would
even though,
anybody be opposed to allowing Dan to make a comment?
even though you're not allowed to
Hold on
respond,
just a second.
I'll just make it
Is the
quick.
council, Jan, just hold on a moment. Does the council agree that we're okay to let Dan give a 2-minute comment?
Well, I don't understand what the comment would be if we don't have a letter. The item is to have comment regarding the letter, and we don't have a letter, so
That's correct.
there shouldn't be any comment.
The conundrum is that I cannot say anything at public comment if it's already on the agenda. And now after public comment, you removed it from the agenda, so I could have, if you removed it before public comment, then I would have made the comment at public comment.
I understand. What do you think?
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with saying no.
So we're ahead of schedule.
We are ahead
To
of.
make them happy, let them rip.
Let's go, yeah.
Okay, Dan, please go ahead. No more than 3 minutes.
No, it's very, very short. I just wanted to say, as you all received, the board proclamation, dark sky board proclamation that clearly says that the most lights should be at 2200K. So you have that. I want to make sure the community also knows this, and for any future letter. And within that proclamation, it's also stated that if for any reason that something can't comply with the 2200K, that it should be um, reduced luminance and reduced operating times. So potentially a well-written exception could be crafted, but the intention is to reduce the amount of blue light exposure, period. And this is why the board of Dark Sky International recommends that most lights should be at 2200K. And this is, pertinent to, the item. And so just wanted to voice this and so that everybody knows. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dan. With that, we are ahead of schedule, and that brings us to applicant interviews for the MCC open seats. Unfortunately, we had 2 applicants who withdrew. We are missing 1 council member. And I think we only have 3 candidates in the room, is that correct?
That looks, yeah,
So we're missing 2 other candidates who haven't arrived yet, and I'm not sure what to do in this case. We could go on to council activity, or we could take a break.
Council activity sounds like.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Do we need to approve going on to council activity, or do we just?
Let's just do that. Let's just move on to it.
Okay. We're gonna move to item 6, council activity.
Do you,
Who would like to go first?
I want to see something.
Claire.
I don't want to do that. I want to ask you if you have phone numbers for the people, the applicants that we
I,
could try to contact any of them now,
um,
or if that would be inappropriate.
I think
Yeah.
since we set a time of 8 o'clock, we close the benefit of it out.
Oh, is that what we told them? 8 o'clock tonight?
Well, that's what the agenda says.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching.
So,
We can just keep busy till 8.
I thought I had a phone number for one of them, but I apparently don't. It might be know if they're planning to come.
I was told by the county that I'm supposed to protect the phone numbers and not disclose them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I'm,
Can I make a suggestion? Even though you do not have a letter ready, don't see any reason why there can't be any discussion about, you know,
I'm gonna cut, Dan, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna cut that short because the item was formally postponed, and so we cannot discuss it now. And we did discuss it at the last meeting. We went over, what are the things we want to see in the letter, so. Hopefully you can participate in a full discussion 2 weeks from now at the next meeting.
okay.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and interest, though.
You can go to council activity then if you want.
So
Back to you.
Well, it was mainly to give the time for the candidates to arrive. That was
Yeah,
the main reason.
right, but we've already postponed the item.
Well, you could vote however you want to vote. Just ask
my
the council to vote to reapply it. That's all
Dan,
it is.
no.
We're not interested.
I'm sorry, I've said no. So I think what we're gonna do is move on to council activity. Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Please do.
Okay, so there was some question about how much it costs to run on the ballot for the Midcoast Community Council. So I went to the voter registrar office on Paulhemus. And I talked to a representative there. And I asked them to send me an email regarding this. So I got the email back last week, and it cost $0 to be on the ballot for the Midcoast Community Council at the next election cycle. Typically, the amount of money that it costs to run for an office is a certain percentage of what you get paid to serve on that office. Since we aren't paid anything, the number is 0 to apply to be on the ballot. And so that issue is now dead. Okay, I don't want to hear about it anymore. That's the answer from the county.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Did anyone attend any meetings or have anything else to report?
I can report.
Can I respond to Scott's?
No. Honey, please go ahead.
So, I'm following up on the contract for the facilitator for the meeting that we're trying to pull together for the stakeholders. And so, it went through they sent a template, the county has a template, went through the template, made edits as I thought were appropriate based on the information provider and the instructions, added what we thought was, part of what was given to us as part of the contract, and sent it back to the county. Where we're sitting now is just I think is really to confirm who is actually signing the contract. So they left those components blank and I filled in, Kimberly's name is the chair for the signatory of the representative, for it. And it went and sent it back to the county, and that is what Marisol alluded to, that she's saying she was confirming whether or not it was Kimberly who could sign, or if someone else in the county has to sign the contract. So they've got the draft and I think we're ready to go, other than this particular piece of information. And so she notified me Monday she would get back to me, and so I will follow up again tomorrow. Just wanted to give her a couple days to try to flush through what we could do to get this forwarded over to the contractor.
Connie, is there any clarity on who's paying for this?
I was not asked to follow that up on who's paying for it. I think we are, as far
I
as
thought
know.
we were, but then when they took it over, it was unclear.
I always thought, I've not said anything. I don't know if you have any information about that.
My understanding was we voted to approve this from our budget, but maybe we can ask Connie to clarify if that's different than what.
Okay, we can do that. The contract is written in the way that we talked about, right? It's the first set of funding to go towards for him to do the interviews, and then the second part would be the actual meeting itself. So it is broken into the two pieces is the way they asked for it in the exhibit, which is what was put together based on what Kevin had, who sent it? Chris sent it over. Chris sent over the details on the contract. So they broke it up exactly like we asked. And so, but I can confirm where the funding is coming from. I just thought we had voted on it. It was ours to pay. That's why I thought, we were signing. But I can follow up on that.
And there's a certain amount of money that goes with the first part, and a certain amount of money that goes with the second part.
It's 2,000 on the first part for the interviewing.
Okay. And 1,000 for the
No, 3.
that, okay,
Total is 5.
okay.
Not to exceed 5.
Okay,
And gave it enough time, several months, to make sure we had plenty of time to get through the process. So more to come. Hopefully I have an update this week.
okay, great. Claire, did you have anything you want to report?
I was at the age-friendly steering committee meeting, which Connie was at part of as well. And that's something that, when I'm no longer on the council, we do have a MCC spot on that committee. So that's just something to keep in mind. They're trying to, they're looking at transportation and age-friendly atmosphere or services or whatever, accommodations and businesses, as well as the healthcare stuff, which we reported on here last meeting. So it continues.
Okay, thank you. I think Claire and I attended the Seal Code meeting that was on the 18th. Which is a very interesting meeting, in which the company that did the geologic report gave an overview of the report and answered questions. I believe they recorded the meeting, so I encourage folks, if you're interested, to go back and look at the recording.
And you should be interested. It's got a lot of ramifications.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
It's gonna be precedent setting in terms of how the county deals with people not being able to live in or build on their property. And it's probably gonna generate a lot of ongoing litigation. And there's also issues regarding the fact that the county permitted people to build in places that are not sustainable. So there'll be a number of things that come out of this.
Wow. That sounds complex.
Can I ask you a question about that? Did they talk about any financial support or mitigation for the slide into the ocean?
So, do you want to answer that, or?
You can.
I mean, I don't want to go too deep into this. This is not a topic, but both of those things essentially, what I heard was that there's not really much you can do because this is a geologic process that's been going on for a long time. And you're not really gonna, because it's such a large issue, like a landscape issue, no matter what you do, it's not really gonna change it or slow it down. And so there's not much they can do except just mitigate the impacts from it. And so things like, for instance, MWSD did these above ground pipes that pivot so that as it moves, they'll last a little longer. So just mitigation, but nothing that can really stop the problem, keeping, from continuing.
They are proposing to do more observational studies, putting in torque measurements through various places and seeing also whether drainage makes a difference or not. They seem to think that the major cause of this was not water, that it was other geological factors. But they're proposing to continue to study, see how fast it's moving. But that's not gonna change anything.
Thanks.
So it was very interesting. And I guess the other important thing out of that is they expanded the hazard zones. So the hazard zones now extend back about 2 more blocks.
And perhaps further as time goes on.
Yeah, and might keep going further, but the time scale is,
Could I give him a quick answer to what he said? They're gonna spend $500,000 to put markers on the pavement so that they can do drone surveillance of land movement on the landslide and the roads in Seal Cove. But mostly that's pretty much the brunt of what they're planning to spend on our neighborhood. They're not gonna do a lot of other things. So.
Okay. I don't want to go too deep into this because it's not.
That's why I said
thanks.
thanks. I didn't want to ask any more questions. Thank you.
The guy that presented to us last summer was there and spoke eloquently.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
No, I just have one other thing to share.
Okay, please go ahead.
I've been trying to just uncover some information about opportunities for improvement on the telecommunications and on the electrical challenges we have. So we went to the State of the Coast side. There met Patrick Horn, who's the on the PMAC Council, Pescadero Municipal Advisory Council, and Greg Diegas, a former Midcoast Community Council member, knows him well, and so he reached out, and so to talk a little bit about the initiative that's starting to happen in Pescadero with a microgrid. And so Patrick connected me with the person from a group called Ariba, who actually helped facilitate pulling this together to try to get the PG&E grant.
For some reason, the audio is going in and out. I'm not being able to hear. I don't know if the microphone's close enough or not, but it's going in and out. There's a problem with the audio.
The audio is fine for me.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll try to speak louder. So I'm setting time to talk with her to understand, how Pescadero was able to kind of help shepherd this along to get additional infrastructure support in their community. And I'll bring that back once I know more.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I was there too. I was at Bruce and
It's still going in and out. There's an audio problem.
I think it's only you, Dan.
I'm not sure we can do anything about your reception.
Well, you can check with others.
The audio is working fine for me. So it's you, Dan.
Thanks, Michelle.
Too.
Thank you. Okay,
Bruce and Views, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was there too, at Bruce and Views.
he was our illustrious speaker. And he did a great job.
Thank
Yeah, that
you.
was great, Scott. Thank
I
you.
would do it again. Now I know what that's about. I was shocked
Next
that
time,
there were so many people there.
next time you earned a spot up front as opposed to the last.
Go backwards, yeah. We should go in reverse order.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was great, Scott. Thank you.
thanks.
Yeah, we all attended. You
That
was
were
Gus.
still there,
Gus wasn't there.
I don't think
except for
that.
us.
Yeah, Gus could.
Spread out, of course, around the room. And the interesting thing was, about that was that the congressman's assistant was there, and also state senators. Staff.
Ricardo? No, that's the
Not-
congressman.
Oh,
Berman? Becker.
Nicholas was there for Ricardo, yeah. But they seem very interested in the coast side, and so I think that's it's nice that we have all that interest. Well, it's 7:42 and I think what we should do, the only thing left on the agenda is future agendas. So we can talk about future agendas or we can just start this process. Or we could take a break as well.
So I have one future agenda item I'm gonna take on. And then I'm gonna write a letter to the San Mateo County Sheriff asking for enforcement for electric motorcycles that are unlicensed on sidewalks, trails, and roads.
Motorcycles that are.
Electric motorcycles, and
This is an agenda item you want to bring.
I would like to have that as an agenda item, and I will, whenever you say we have a spot, I will get the letter together and we can decide what we'd like to do, but I would like to bring it up.
Does that include e-bikes? That's motorcycle, you said motorcycle.
Electric motorcycle, unlicensed electric motorcycles.
But that's on an e-bike.
It's not, but they look like one. Or illegal e-bikes, not class 1 e-bikes, so. And people that don't have a license to drive a motorcycle are driving the electric motorcycles on the streets. So I would like to see enforcement.
Okay. I'll put that on
You
the
got it.
future agenda topics. Are there any future agenda topics?
I have the local hazard mitigation plan. They did, I forgot since our last meeting, I did go to a meeting there. They did send out some draft documents that would be public facing documents that we can post. They do want feedback and information from the community. It's part of the exercise to develop the plan. So they did send out some flyers and some ideas. So I will bring that forward. I'll send it out for the next meeting. It did come forward. I just have to go through it a little bit to send it, but
Okay.
they're looking for public comment and they do need to, the idea is to actually somehow be able to either take pictures or to, if it's on the agenda that we can send that over so that they have proof that they have gotten public comment.
Okay, so what you need to do then is there's a process, so you fill out that thing that says what your agenda topic
Yeah.
is, you're the sponsor, the blurb.
Okay.
I don't know if we can get it on the next.
Oh, that's okay. That's not the next one. It's fine. They don't need it till April, so it's fine. We have plenty of time, but they did send the draft out, so.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Claire, do you have anything that you'd like to ask?
Not at this point.
Okay. Well, kind of unprecedented.
Really.
And I'm not quite sure what to do. It's not what I
You
expected.
want us to stretch? Are you asking for stretching?
Stretch.
Yeah, we have about 15 minutes. So
Should we start the process?
we can start the process. I'm concerned because if the other two candidates don't come, that means we only have 3 candidates. And our decision making was based on having 3+ candidates, and if less than that, then we were supposed to extend the period.
Do we have
for-
3 people here?
Yeah.
With 3 now.
Oh, then we have what we said.
I want to be respectful of the time of the people that came.
Yeah,
So I want to do whatever is possible to, I wouldn't change the rules that we
okay.
abide by.
So the other thing I'm concerned about is Gus is supposed to be here by 8, and if I hope he's gonna be here by 8, but if we start, he will not have a
Okay.
chance to hear
Okay.
decision making.
Okay, so all our agenda items, all items we have scheduled for today are completed. So the only recourse is to pause for
Guess to come.
14 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So.
Claire, you're the longest serving council member. Is
This
that
has never
what we've
happened.
ever done?
This has never happened.
Well,
If we were able to contact those other 2 people and see if they're actually coming, that'd be.
I'll propose this. Let's take a 10-minute break. I will call the two people that are missing to make sure that they're coming. And I will text Gus to make sure that he's en route, and then we'll resume.
Okay.
So from a logistical standpoint, let's pause and mute Zoom.
Mhm.
And,
if the public could rejoin us in 10 minutes.
and can we pause the feed? Okay, let's do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, so
Pause the feed, pause Zoom, and we'll resume at 8 o'clock.
no, we'll resume at 5 minutes of 8.
Okay, resume at 5 till 8. Got you. You guys okay with that? Okay,
All
thank you.
right.
What about
Well,
the people online? The
They should be
people
hearing
online?
this.
We just covered that, so.
I just want to make sure they heard it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll turn it off. I'll end the meeting.
No, you don't have to end it.
You have to end it, just.
There's no pausing, it just did.
Can you mute it?
I'm not doing the sound. I don't have the sound.
Unfortunately, we had 3 applicants who dropped out. And so that leaves us with 4 applicants. And we're welcome to all of you. We're glad to have you here tonight. I think what we will do is go in alphabetical order. Just because that seems pretty straightforward. So let me get to the list. So I think how we'd like to proceed is each person will go up, you'll make your statement. And then the council will ask you some questions. Then what I'd like to do is go to the public to ask any questions. And we'll just repeat that until we get to the end, and then the council will deliberate. And we might seek further public comment, and then we may make a decision. So before we start that, do any of you in the room have questions? Okay then, the first person on the list would be Antonio Cotton. Would you like to step up to the podium?
Hello, nice to meet you all. My name is Antonio Conti. I grew up in San Carlos, but moved to the coast with my wife. I have 2 kids here. We live over in Pillar Ridge. I'm one of the Commodores at the Half Bay Yacht Club on the board there. You know, I was encouraged to run for this position. This would be my first public office type of thing. I used to work for the city of Half Moon Bay. You know, I've loved the coast my whole life. You know, one of the tourists back in the day coming over the hill. But you know, as I see the coast grow, I just feel more and more connected to it. And I love the way that the community comes together. You know, that's one thing I've been bragging about since leaving San Carlos is how well the coast kind of comes together. So yeah, you know, I'd like to be fair. Don't really lean left or right or anything like that. To me, what's more important is the growth of the community, fostering a care, you know, just taking care of each other. This is important to me, and I've definitely set my roots down here, and want to see the rest of the community grow. So that's what's important to me. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what skill set you might bring to the MCC?
I have a lot of practical knowledge around, I have a handyman business. I've grown up, you know, being involved in local things in the city of San Carlos. You know, I'm not experienced as far as like, you know, any geological knowledge or anything like that, but I'm definitely open to learning, you know, fresh clay to mold, so to speak. I have a desire to learn about how things operate, and you know, as far as like, you know, political experience, I don't have any, but definitely open to figuring it out. So yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's okay. We all bring our different experiences, and that's a good thing. So I'd like to go around the council and have each person ask a question. Gus, do you want to start?
Okay. Are there any particular policy or issue areas that are resident for you that we want to work on?
So yeah, there's a couple things, what you brought up earlier, as far as like the, the riding the electric motorcycles. I do see that as an issue. I see it on a daily basis. I've been in contact with Samtrans a little bit about some of the ways some of the bus drivers have been driving. High beams would be an issue as far as, driving on Highway 1. One of the things that, I do have a concern about are like flock cameras. And some of the neglect in the harbor, I think, there's a broken down building that I think should be addressed and, yeah, I mean, those are, a couple examples.
Thanks for coming. It's really nice to have you here, and certainly don't concern yourself about not being a politician because you feel glad about that, right? No, that's good. So, what can you tell us a little bit what you did for you said you worked for Half Moon Bay?
I did, yeah. So I worked for the city of Half Moon Bay for quite a while. I was actually worked in the Parks and Rec department. So I was the lead building attendant. So I did that for a while. I would help set up tear downs for the meetings. We would do events, the Easter events. I mean, just all kinds of things for the city. I've known Eddie for a long time. It was an amazing experience. I didn't really understand it when I started working there, but I've kind of grown into a passion of how the community works. And, quite frankly, it's a little fresh to me. This is my first time, but to me, it's something that I think is important. I mean, even if everyone here doesn't get paid, I can tell that you care because you're here spending your free time doing it. So there's no, I don't want to say fanfare to it, but it's important and it matters and it makes a difference, and that's that's important to me.
Great. Thanks.
Claire?
You work for the Harbor District?
I did a while ago, but I no longer do. Yeah.
Okay. I really like hearing you say that you want to learn things and that you're willing to start where you are and pick things up, because none of us knew anything when we started, at least most of us. And it really does take a certain amount of humility and enthusiasm, that combination to become a good council member. So that's a good start. Have you worked in group settings like this before, where you've had to negotiate your point of view with other people?
In a political sense, not so much. Not political sense. Okay, so it's like a good example would be at the yacht club. I mean, we started out as port captains there, and it's another volunteer position, so we don't get paid. But they're definitely, to me, it's important I want people to feel comfortable coming to me, knowing that I don't have a set view on things. I want people to feel that they can be honest and know that I'm open to different points of view, because to me, different points of view is what helps make this country a functioning, example of a republic for the world. As far as talking to, in a setting like this, not so much, no. But in day-to-day life, dealing with different people, different age groups, different opinions, different views. To me, I welcome that. I mean, it's not something that I can say I have, hands-on experience, in this type of environment. But as far as negotiating, listening, understanding from my perspective that I don't have all the answers, and that it's okay to hear it from someone who may know more than me, I have no problem with that. I don't have a hard line stance on pretty much anything.
So Gus stole my question. So this is my backup question. And so first off, my story is very similar to yours. I lived in Burlingame, which is just like San Carlos, and I moved here 5 years ago, knowing nothing about politics. But I feel like with the help of the rest of the people on the council, I've learned a lot about it. I guess my question to you is, sometimes we need to represent the council at other public functions. Like I go in person to Half Moon Bay City Council. There's sometimes things in the harbor that they need representing. Would you be open to speaking in public, representing us to other organizations?
Absolutely. So I'm a little nervous here. This is kind of important to me. But I definitely don't have any issues speaking in front of the public. I understand that the things that I do, from just driving down the street in my community to, going to, say an MCC event or, even a county event, and I understand that I represent my community, and the council as well. So to me, I take that seriously, and it's important to me to, one, be an honest and true version of myself, but also recognize that I'm also representing people, as well as the council, so.
Thanks. Yeah, you have a great presence.
Thank you.
Speaking to us in the community so far. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. Often, one of the things that was very important when I was interviewed to be on the council was to think about what happens when an issue comes up and you disagree with the decision that the council is leaning towards, or that a decision the council is making is not a decision that you support as an individual. And so my question is, when those kinds of things happen, when you get in that circumstance, how will you feel about that, and how will you approach it?
Personally, so I asked around for some people that I know on local councils, and sought advice. And one person told me that, there may be things that you don't agree with, but that's okay. I mean, that's what makes it's what keeps a civilized society functioning, is the ability to disagree with something, but still put your best foot forward in making it possible for the overall decision that's been made. So even if I disagree with something, I don't have an issue with saying, you know what, okay, let's get it done.
And that carries through too, that sometimes a majority of the community is coming to us and we're hearing this overwhelming support for something that we as individuals may not support. And so our commitment is to the community, not to what we ourselves want to do necessarily. And so you would be comfortable with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be standing here right now if I didn't care about the community as a whole. There's no personal gain in this. I just want to see the people around me succeed.
Thank you. What I'd like to do now is ask if members of the public have questions, and I see that Dan Haggerty has his hand raised. Dan, would you like to ask a question of the applicant?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for coming forward, and you're showing interest, community involvement, and I think that that's fantastic, and just really pleased to see you coming forward.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I have just a couple questions. That number one, the local coastal program. Are you aware? Are you familiar a little bit about the local coastal program and the how it relates to basically coastal commission kind of spirit being followed through by the county? That's one. Are you aware of that? Number two, curious your feelings on in general traffic situation, coastal views, and having the off-road bike trails.
That's a
uh,
lot, Dan.
One question.
Oh, I'm happy to do my best to answer it, Dan, if that's all right.
Let's just do your best.
Okay, thank you. So as far as like the coastal commission goes and the things on the county, I mean, I'm just kind of getting my feet in the water, so to speak, I'm aware of the coastal commission. I understand, from my perspective, what they want to do. They want to protect and preserve the coast, and not just for us, but for future generations, which I think is a great thing. And as far as like traffic goes, I personally, I don't have an issue with tourism, but I love not having traffic as well. So, I would encourage, people to, ride their bikes. My family and I, during the summertime, we love riding downtown, just to kind of skip the traffic. Yeah, personally, I'm not a huge fan of traffic, but I understand that it also comes with, economic opportunities, and people get to share this beautiful coast, and I just think it kind of having, one of the things I loved about the state of California is just, you kind of have everything within like an 8-hour drive. And this is just part of the beauty of it, is being able to, be somewhere like this. If, come somewhere like this, just say you live in Sacramento, you come down here. I mean, I have family that do that, and, it's, while traffic itself may not always be the most fun thing, I think it's definitely important to have people down here to support our community. So.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Dan?
Yeah, if you wanted to say something quickly about views and off-road bike trails.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so sorry, the bike trails. I love bike riding. I mean, I would want personally, like, I would love to support bike trails. I think safety is important. I mean, we definitely would want to make sure that, pedestrians and people riding bikes high speed would be, protected in their own areas. But I personally, like, I support bike riding and off-road trails.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Sid, one question, please. Sid Young?
Sorry, here's the mic. Well, first of all, I'm really happy to see somebody from Pillar Ridge wanting to be involved. I don't think we often get people from Pillar Ridge. I guess maybe they're all working really hard or else feel like they're members of our community. I'm not sure why that is, but I look forward, if you become a member of the MCC, that you can help increase that engagement.
Yeah.
A while back, we used to have the STARS group, or SAL, I guess, Sheriff's Activity League, work over there. Do they still do that?
I haven't seen him around. I used to be an active member of the PAL in San Carlos, so Police Activities League. Officer Potts, shout out to you. But I haven't seen him too much around there. That's not to say they aren't doing anything. I just personally haven't done anything, but I'm sure, my 6-year-old would love to be a part of it. But if it's possible to bring something like that back, I mean, I've been in Pillar Ridge for, I want to say, about 5 years now. It's a beautiful community filled with really, really nice people. I would say people that genuinely care. I remember Lisa was a big supporter of the area, and I just yeah, I mean, sorry, I just yeah, it's I'm a little nervous. But yeah, no, I haven't seen, to answer your question, no, I haven't really seen them around. But I think it would be great if they would be able to come back, or at least maybe push it a little bit more out to the community so people know.
Well, I think it would be a good idea too. So I didn't know if they had it, but I used to engage more with the sheriff's office when they had their substation in Moss Beach. But ever since Half Moon Bay kind of moved them into their station down there when they got rid of the Half Moon Bay's police force, we don't see them as much up this way. How about would you consider going and taking the county's program? They have a 101 program where you learn about different county not offices, but the different services that the county office offers. And I think it's a one night a month, or no.
Well, no, I don't think that's right.
Well, I would want to take full advantage of every opportunity that I can to, learn and grow. I'm a big fan of the sheriff's. My dream job was either to be a car reporter, or a sheriff's deputy. So any opportunity that I would have to work with, the San Mateo Sheriff's Department would be a welcome one for sure.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Thank you, Sid.
department. It's the county, every department in the county, and they come and give you what they do, and you
I'm
learn.
approaching the microphone.
Just wondered if you would be interested in driving to Redwood City at night, one night a week.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would definitely look into it one night a week. I mean, I have no issue with that. I mean, I'm, like I said earlier, like a piece of clay ready to get molded, so.
I think we've gone a little beyond what makes sense for questions, Sid. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the community who would like to ask Tony a question? Carl, please do.
Standard question, through the decades for potential MCC members. How do you feel about annexation to Half Moon Bay or incorporation of a separate city on the mid-coast?
I'd have to look into that a little bit more. I don't have any knowledge of that right now. I've never heard of that. But to me, every idea is worth exploring a little bit. So, I don't feel like I can properly answer your question, but I can definitely say like, I'd be willing to see what the proposal would be or would not be, I'm I'm always open to listening is what I'm saying.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, last call for questions from the community. I don't see any hands raised. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, good job.
Okay, our next person up is Carl. Is their last name Keel?
Tail, doesn't matter. I'll answer anything. Hi, I'm Carl Kale. I guess let's be honest here. I'm here because I felt like I needed to give something back. I'm new to the coast. I've only been here for a few years, maybe just not too much less than you guys, but not that much more. And I was approached by one of my neighbors, Clemens, who runs the Montero Water District. And he said, oh, well, we need somebody to serve on the board of the water district. So I showed up and they were able to find somebody else because I'm new to the coast. So I don't know I don't know the ins and outs. So they picked somebody else and that's great. But after I went to that meeting, I got a call from Greg, the former MCC member. And he said, we need good people, want you to apply. So my story is my wife and I moved down here a few years ago. Although I lived in Pacifica in the 80s and 90s, I lived there. But I'm born and raised in San Francisco. You don't do a lot of volunteering in a big city like that. You don't get involved unless you really want to. You have to fight your way in because there's so many people. So my wife has started to volunteer at Table of Plenty down near the senior center, and she was doing all these good things. And I felt like I should be doing something too. I'm taking advantage of this community, but I'm not giving anything back. I work in the city, but everything else we do here. So here I am. My background: born and raised in the city. Lived there almost 60 years, and on and off. And I live now here with my wife, two dogs. Live in Montero. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. And I'm not as familiar with all the ins and outs of the Coastal Commission or Highway 1. I was reading about the Highway 1 project in El Granada. They want to move over the road eventually. But other than that, I don't know all the ins and outs. So I claim ignorance. But my background is I'm a property manager. Been doing it for about 25 years. I have a small real estate investment company with my sister. So I'm a problem solver. That's all I do. You listen to complaints and solve problems. So maybe I should back out of this. I'm thinking about this job now. I'm thinking, well, maybe I should be. This is like, this is more like doing work, right? I have a law degree. I never practiced, so I do have some background there, but I wouldn't call it much. I ran a nonprofit, administrative part of a nonprofit, so I have some ins and outs of how to deal with government agencies. I ran the administrative side of the SPCA in San Francisco, but after we gave the contract. So I have skills here and there. I'm not it's kind of like, I'm not a specialist, have had many many traits, but nothing strong. So I guess that's it. Unless so, yeah, ask away. Questions?
Okay, who'd like to start?
Start with that and list.
Okay,
Scott?
so since you've lived here a long time, what would you like to see changed on the Midcoast?
Not a long time.
He said
So,
not a long time.
not a long
Oh, you
time.
lived in Pacific.
Oh, that was in the 80s. Pacific is a totally different community. I don't, that tunnel, it really just changes things. And I lived in the Pacifica. So when I lived in Pacifica, there were no breweries. Now there were two, right? It's like one day I was watching television in the city and I saw them, giving a interview in front of the brewery. I go, "There's a brewery in Pacifica now?" So it's quite changed a lot since 1988, 90. I left in 93, so it's changed quite a bit. But moving forward, what would I like to see happen here? So my concerns are, is that balance between housing and natural beauty, right? How do we keep the Highway 1 from as the lifeline of this place, right? When the tunnel closes or 92 closes, everything goes nuts. So we got to keep. So those are the things I see. It's keeping the beauty but also keeping the flow of traffic and the road going, and then allowing housing, because obviously there's a shortage of housing.
You're a real estate manager or developer or?
Yeah, the manager. No developments.
Okay. Because we do interact with pros and cons of various real estate developments here. We comment on all proposed building permits. And I don't know if there would be any conflict of interest for you or any help maybe from you for us, or how you would see that.
No project. I don't anything on the coast or anything in San Mateo County, to be honest. Mostly all of this is in the city. So no conflict of interest is there unless, no conflict of interest there. I can give you insight into what developers want sometimes, but I think it's a case by case basis. You're not gonna, not one idea is gonna fix all, right?
Can you maybe elaborate a little bit about what you just said about the balance between need for housing and natural?
Well, I think that's always been true about every town. Obviously, we have this community here, and we have a certain amount of houses here, but nothing stays stagnant. There's always there's like 5 empty lots in Pacific in Montera that are up for sale, right? You see the sign, so people want to build them. So you have to allow that to happen, but you have to, balance that with, water rights, with traffic congestion and what have you. I did read a little bit about the Moss Beach development, and it's going up. I mean, they really leveled out that plot of land. And the first thing my wife goes, where's the bus going to stop there, right? And I'm sure that what's going to happen when those people want to get, they don't want to get in their cars and they just want to get on the bus to go down to Half Moon Bay or up to Lindemar, whatever. So those are the things that I see as issues. I don't have any, I don't have any great insight on it, but I think that's going to be the balance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Tom?
Thanks for coming, Carl. It's great that you came in and thank your wife for Table of Plenty. That's really beautiful that she's doing that. Really grateful for that. So there's lots of opportunity on the coast for volunteering since you want to give back. I think we probably 50 different organizations or more here. So why MCC? Why did you choose to come to this one?
Thank Greg.
Oh.
He suggested here, he mentioned another organization, and it was something about the design review plan or something. And I said, well, not very much. I'm very pragmatic. I'm not into aesthetics or nice, but that's not my main, I don't see color, whether it's that white or is that beige or, that doesn't excite me. So, I'm a property manager. We just have to get it done. So, it's not very pretty, but so he suggested the MCC. They also talked about the Midcoast sanitary district or Granada. Yeah.
Montero Water.
So they don't have an opening, but
Yeah,
I mean,
they
people
do.
are just sending me saying, oh, well, when something comes open, we'll send you. And I'm saying, fine. I mean, I'm just here to open. Now, if you find, and I want to just be clear, I'm here because I felt like you guys need something. But I'm not trying to take anybody's, you guys have been here longer or you want, please, I'm not.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to be, I'm just like, if I can be being of help, good. If that's, and I will take no offense if you find that, I'm not here long enough or my skill sets are not appropriate or what.
It may be a tough choice, but, if I can say, there will be at least one and perhaps more openings in the election in November. So anybody that doesn't get chosen this time, please consider November.
Yeah.
Well, and I think on this council, we value all kinds of perspectives and experience.
Mhm.
So don't feel that you're coming up short at all.
I'm just being honest, I won't take any offense, but.
Thank you, Carl.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes?
Yeah, so I think this would be your sort of first cut at public service, right? Is that?
Yeah, yes.
So as someone who has been a member of the community observing public servants, what do you find sort of most interesting about it from what you have seen? What do you find most frustrating or challenging?
I'll answer the last one first, because I was in the student government in college. That was a standard, so. And frustrated is, it's like herding cats, right? And this is a smaller venue. This was very long. And you can get like, they have their personality, everyone has their personalities and has their agenda, and you just have to take a deep breath and figure out what's the best path to go. So that's the most frustrating part. The good part is, you guys do good. I mean, you're not making any money. No one's getting rich sitting here, right? At least I guess not. So this is, that's something my wife is showing me as this example, and I said, well, then like I tell you, my neighbor Clemens started this whole process, and I didn't know where it was going to go. So I just said, here I am. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, at least I'm going to offer myself to this process.
Thank you.
I have the same question I posed to Tony, sort of your comfort level with representing the community versus your individual view on things.
Comfort, giving public speeches and representing.
No, your comfort level with when the community overwhelmingly supports something that they use
that question.
Self-support.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go back to my answer regarding my serving in the student senate in college, and you don't get away all the time. Sometimes you rarely get your way. And I'm not somebody who needs to be in charge, even though I am in charge of my business and everything else. I don't need to be. Some people feel like they have to be in control. I have seen enough that I know when to step back and say, okay, this is not my fight. So I think that the long story short is, you just have to, you pick your battles and you know that you're always going to get what you want. And I don't have an agenda. I didn't come here with an idea of what I'm going to be doing or what this entails. So.
Thank you. I'd like to take some quick questions from the public, and members of the public, if you could only ask one question, please, so that we can get through all of the minutes. Sid Young. Sid?
Yeah, hold on. Looking
One
for the
question, please.
She muted her, I forgot, so.
Couldn't find the unmute. Here we go. Let's see. Carl.
Yes.
Okay. I can only ask one.
Yes, please.
So you mentioned transportation, with the buses and the mid-pen housing. I don't know if you're aware, you don't have kids here in school, right?
No, my kids are all grown, live outside the state.
Okay, so there's no school buses here, and so
Right.
that whole mid-pen housing is not gonna have transportation to and from Half Moon Bay for the 14-mile round trip. And the bus stop will be on the other side of the highway for,
Right.
where the sanitary district offices are for the drop off, I guess. We don't know yet, but that's because Caltrans is making their plan for the mid Moss Beach corridor in 2030, even though that mid-pen housing project will be built and occupied before that. So there is one bus and it only goes up and down the highway, I believe, once an hour. And that's how kids get to school unless they have parents that drive them up and down to school. And I'm assuming that because it's a low income housing project, that the people are going to have blue collar jobs where they have to punch a time clock, and they're not going to be soccer moms that can just drive their kids down to school and back whenever. So, what would your solution be for that project? And I don't know if you know, but in November there's a tax bill going on the ballot for helping out San Francisco with their Muni and their BART and all of that they want San Mateo to weigh in on too. So I don't know. I just wondered if you had been looking in.
I don't have any insight as to what, I just know what I see. And based on what I see and what my wife and I talked about is, yes, the bus stop is across the road. And so going to get the bus going southbound is going to be a bit, dangerous unless they put, well, like at Moss Beach, a flashing light. The problem up and down the coast, the Great Whale Cove, which I heard somebody died there yesterday. So, people are just trying to cross that highway and it's just not ideal. I keep on thinking, what would be nice if I had like a little bridge, over Highway 1 at a couple of spots, but that's not going to happen because Caltrans doesn't like to build bridges, I don't think. And the trucks would, have to go pretty high up. So again, I don't have any ideas or solutions to this, but I'm aware of them. Maybe somebody smarter than me will have a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sid. Dan, do you have one question, please?
First of all, I want to say thank you for showing up tonight and showing interest. This is a process that will be chosen people that will be representing the whole community, and I think that I deserve. I'm going to take half the time that Sid took. I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. Number one, you already covered your view on the Coastal Commission, but and traffic. I'd like to ask one thing, probably the most important. You mentioned that you're not too into aesthetics. And I want to give you a long leash that that could be maybe one meaning that you're thinking at when you said that, but aesthetics is extremely important for the whole for this whole natural rural area that we have here. Have you ever seen a structure that looked like it didn't belong there? That's one question. I'd like to hear your concern on views, from protected views from the highway to be able to see the ocean, and then also focusing on having bikes on the off-road bike trail.
Okay, let me clarify my aesthetics comment. I'm a property manager, so a lot of times we have to get things done quickly, kind of turn and burn. But I had a partner, a long friend. We shared offices together, who was an architect. And when I say I don't have the strong aesthetics, I base it on my friend Tom, who was an architect, and now he works for the Marine Planning Commission. And compared to him, I don't have any aesthetics. I mean, yes, I do care about how things look. I do care about, yes, that A-frame doesn't look right in the middle of the field. But I don't obsess over it. I have to, because I mean, in my business, you have to move. So I hope that answers your question, but you know,
Yes, it does. Yes.
Right.
You can,
Compared to an architect, I don't have aesthetics. You know, he sees things that I just, whoa, I didn't see that. So
yeah.
so
Views and off-road bike
right.
trails.
I'm a runner, and I'm a believer in everyone's, you know, share the road kind of thing. I'm a little concerned about the electric bikes, mountain
As well.
bikes.
Yep. Yep.
They're a whole different story. When I'm running over the mountain and a regular rider is coming by, that's fine. But when a guy is just turning the accelerator and he's, you know, coming down the hill, I'm
Agreed.
a little bit more nervous. So I don't
Agreed.
know. We could probably consult with Marin and see how they handle that situation, because their trails are, you know, they have a lot more, you know, they do that a lot more over there.
Protecting views from the highway.
Boy, I haven't thought of that one. You know, the houses that are existing, well, are you talking about the views from the highway to the ocean, or from the houses?
Yes.
So like a moratorium on more building on the coast, or is that some of the things that you're looking at or talking about?
Projects in certain sensitive areas where you would, you know, block the views from the ocean, from the highway of the
Yeah,
ocean.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think that what's there now is probably anything that goes up that's bigger and, you know, more blight, you know, that can, you know, cause eyesore. I think, yes, has to be looked at closely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, are there any other questions from members of the public? I don't see any hands raised in the room. Carl, would you like to ask a question?
I got a bunch always. I'll ask you a little bit different one.
Okay.
Have you read the local coastal plan for San Mateo County that governs all the non-incorporated areas of the county, governs land uses all over the coast for a coastal zone, and gets into resources, build out quantities, and so have you read our local coastal code?
The simple answer is no. So is that, do you want a more elaborate? But I'm aware of
It's
the,
one that governs much of what comes up in Midcoast Council.
Okay, well, that was cool.
Thank you, that was all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, that brings us to David.
Good evening. My name is David Santoro. I have been living in the Midcoast for 3 years now. Love it here. I used to visit here as a child, so I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to live here. It's one of the most beautiful places that I've lived, and I really enjoy it. I am currently certified, and I'm also a zone lead for the community that I'm in. So really passionate about the resiliency that we have on the coast when it comes to our PG&E, making sure that we've got power. Also really concerned about the hospital that was here that's no longer here. I think that's something that's really important for the folks that live on the Midcoast. So CERT has opened my eyes about how vulnerable we are on the coast. There's only a couple ways in and out. And I think really being prepared if there's a natural disaster or emergency and really getting the communities involved and trying to help one another out. So heavily involved in that. And I currently work for San Mateo County Transit District, which is Samtrans, the bus. I heard it come up a couple times. So been there for almost 5 years and enjoy that. Very familiar with the Brown Act and the bodies that you all fall under. And also, you know, the process of policies and getting those approved, just with what I do for my day-to-day job. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, this you know, the community council is really important to get everybody's thoughts and views and really making sure that it gets to the county, and trying to think of all of the elected officials over there, our supervisors, making sure we have a good relationship. And what we feel is needed here on the coast is being represented in the county. So I think that's really important of the work that you guys are doing here. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, who'd like to start?
You said you work for Samtrans.
I do.
So I serve on the Transportation Authority's Citizens Council. And so I'd just be sort of curious from your perspective, working at Samtrans, like what do you see as the primary transportation related issues on the coast? And if you were the entire board of supervisors and could do whatever you wanted, what do you think the solutions are?
You know, I think for the frequency of the buses that we do get on the coast side, it's typically every hour. We don't have a half an hour type system like we do on the peninsula side. I think it has to do with ridership. One of the things that the coast side has, it's not the full mid coast, but I think we're reviewing that currently, is Ride Plus. I think Ride Plus to me has been fairly successful out here. It's getting folks from their house to locations within the area. So those are kind of the things that we're doing. For me, I think one of the folks online mentioned our school routes, making sure we have the school buses out there, and if we need to increase service, I think to protect the schools and making sure that the kids are getting to and from school, they're not overcrowded, is something that, you know, to focus on and make sure that we have that public transportation. I think on the preparedness and the readiness, if there's a emergency evacuation, really having a good relationship with Samtrans to make sure that they're available to kind of help to evacuate folks depending on where they're at in the area. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Bonnie?
Sure. Hi, nice to meet you.
You too.
Thanks for the work you're doing. My question is kind of a little bit related to CERT. And so you've been on CERT for a little while.
Right.
I think you kind of, from that, because I'm a CERT member also. I think what you find on CERT, and similarly here, is, you know, how would you see as the best way to really engage with the community? I know with CERT, it's always a challenge for us to get people involved, and, you know, great, you're a zone lead, because I know they're always looking for zone leads. But similarly, it's, you know, the council, we want to get the broadest perspective that we can, just like it's CERT, you want to engage with the most amount of the community. What kind of not tactics, but what kind of work would you do along those lines to help get more engagement in the community? And I'm sure you kind of see this along with CERT.
Yeah, I think those are kind of the questions that come up in the CERT meetings that we do have, is how do we get more engagement? You know, what we currently are doing are using flyers, putting them at the post office, making it available that way. Looking more into social media and using that platform, I think is a better way to kind of do a broader reach to the folks in the area. And that's something that's my project right now, is to try to work on having that platform, looking at Nextdoor, see if that's a way to generate more people to attend. We have a really good group of people in El Granada that show up. We just had the Great Shakeout. It was more people than they had in the past. So I think it's growing. I think it could be better. I think after an event, you know, storm or whatever the issue is, I think really socializing that is like, were you prepared? Do you have the things to help your family survive in the next, several days? What does that look like? And I think that's the time to really start engaging when it's fresh in people's mind of how vulnerable we are out here.
And how would you leverage that for this community, just in more general, is what I was asking, not just in CERT, but.
Oh, not just CERT for
to-
this?
To apply it, to apply.
Yeah, and I think it's important the same way. I mean, we're here to represent folks on the coast side and really get to make sure their voices are heard. And I think the social media is really the way to do it. I don't know if it's a Instagram page or Nextdoor or Facebook, whatever that is, to really kind of get the message out and really have that two-way communication where people could feel that they could offer their comments. Not all comments are always positive, but I think getting comments in general to see where people are at, it's important to have that engagement.
Thanks.
Okay, Claire?
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
In terms of Ride Plus, just to put this in one more time. We love Ride Plus, it doesn't come here. The scope, the geographic and time scope of that service precludes most of the Midcoast.
Yes.
So maybe you could fix that.
Do what you can.
Yes, I do know. Yeah, they're reevaluating Ride Plus because Ride Plus is only on the coast side, really Half Moon Bay and just a little bit of El Granada. And so I know we are currently looking at expanding that, what that would look like. And East Palo Alto is the only other area that has Ride Plus, so it's really limited to the two locations. But I do think expanding that out to more of the coast, I think, is beneficial for everybody.
Good to hear.
Yes.
We have some, not us, but the powers that be have some restrictions about people being on other boards as well as the MCC. You're on the board at San Trans?
No, I'm an employee at Sam Trans, so I'm not on the board. Yes, I work there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll stop there, but thank you for coming.
Yeah.
But the Ride Plus.
Yes. I got the plug for Ride Plus, so yes, I will take that back.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. And you're great so far. But I want to ask you a more specific question.
Sure.
So we are designated as a high fire danger. A lot of the area now are redesignated. Do you believe that San Trans could help us get out in a fire? Would they be able to, people without cars, could San Trans respond to us if we need to evacuate?
I think if the conversation has been had or has not been had, I'm not sure what the conversation has been between the coast side and San Trans. But depending on the situation, of course, we don't want to put employees in danger. But I do think that is a conversation definitely worth having, because I do think that most of us have vehicles that can get in and out. I think it's the community folks that don't have the transportation. The older, residents are the ones that really need to be moved out. So there should be some kind of MOU or memorandum of understanding between the two to see what that look like in case of an emergency.
Yes, so I'm just gonna add one more thing. So sometimes if there's something going on that's not good and people want to run away, they all drive to one and it stops. So
Yes.
if we could coordinate
Yes.
public transportation and try to help us get out in the future, I think that'd be great. Then your involvement in San Trans triggers that in my mind, and it's nice to have someone from there.
Yeah.
Then help us understand what would be a good solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, for two questions. The first one is easy. I'm assuming you go to an office over the hill.
I do every day.
So for our meetings, would you be able to get here by
Yes.
7?
I got here today by 7, so I was here. So yes, that would not be an issue.
Just knowing traffic is sometimes prohibitive, so.
Yes, yeah.
So I just, same question I asked the other applicants, just tell me how you feel about, when you might have a certain opinion about something and the rest of the council might have a different opinion, or the community might be telling us this is what we want, and all of us have different opinions about what we individually would like. How do you look at that, and how would you handle it?
Yeah, I think the big thing is really listening to understand is kind of the where I come from. Just because I have a thought doesn't make it right. And I think that's where the conversation comes in to really open your mind to see things from everybody's perspective. Sometimes we get pigeonholed in just what we think and what we want, and they're a little bit self-serving. And I think you got to kind of put that to the side and look at what is good for the greater good. If you're following me, and I think that's what this council is about. I mean, it's not about just a self-serving piece of it, and really working together and doing it in a way. I think debates are healthy. I think it's something that is needed. I mean, everybody can't just agree to everything just because they're afraid to push back a little bit. But I think pushing back is something that's needed, but also you have to do it with respect and really value the folks not just here, but in the community. And I'm trying to understand where they're coming from, because your mind could be changed, or you could be letting them know or see things from a different perspective that they may or may not have had. So I think it's just that open communication and really trying to listen to one another. I think is important, and I don't think one person's more right than the other. Yeah.
Just a follow-on question. Everybody kind of mentioned who encouraged them to apply for the MCC. Did any particular person encourage you to apply?
No, I just saw it and I thought, you know what? I've been involved in public transportation. I lived in New York and I worked for the MTA there. And you start working with elected officials and you kind of figure out, hey, what drove them to start to being, part of the, community and things like that. I just, working with CERT, meeting people, I think, it's just important to be involved in the community. So I really didn't have anybody reach out and say, hey, you should apply. I just kind of stumbled upon it and said, hey, this is something that I'm interested in. And, with my background, I just thought it would be possibly a good fit.
Okay, I'm actually gonna hazard one other question.
Sure.
Since you have all this transportation expertise, how do Highway 1 tends to be a flashpoint for a lot of different opinions, obviously. And there's a lot of different projects, and projects underway now, and I guess I would wonder how you look at that, you probably have personal opinions about how the highway should evolve, and I'd just like to hear a little bit about, how you look at.
Basically our traffic issue.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna look at building, and I know people, think that building and increasing housing is the right thing. Yes, we have a shortage in the area, and I think it's important to build and make sure that folks have a place to live. But at the same time, we really need to make sure that the infrastructure can support the growth. And I think looking at that in totality is really going to kind of help decide, hey, is this project worth moving forward with, or is there other concerns like the traffic on Highway 1? So I think you just got to look at all of that to really determine if the benefits outweigh the traffic or vice versa. But I think, yeah, I mean, I drive in it and I try to avoid certain times of the day because it just takes me a half an hour to get to Half Moon Bay, and it's not fun. So I do think looking at the various options, but like I said, you really got to make sure the infrastructure can support the growth.
Okay.
I don't know, hopefully I answered your question.
You did. You have a sort of unique background, so I'm going to ask you one other question. Just because I think
You're violating. You're all being good.
No, it's fine.
Trying to know. So you probably have a lot of connections and relationships within the transportation sector. Do you perceive, it's similar to Claire's question, do you think that any conflict of interest would come up when there are particular issues that come before the council related to transportation?
I think if it would directly involve where it might be a conflict of interest, I think the easiest thing would be for me to just recuse myself on that item that's on the agenda. Is probably the right thing to do, just so I don't have influence on something that I shouldn't. I don't think how often that would come up with the Santa Trans piece of it. But yeah, I think that would just be the best thing, is to recuse myself so I don't have any conflicts.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the community, and I really am gonna ask you guys to crystallize your questions, and please keep it to one question.
You didn't do one. No, you didn't do one. I said.
I know.
She's in charge.
I
Sid,
know.
I took some
Liberties.
liberties.
Live. I didn't hear where you live, David.
Oh, yeah, I live right here in El Granada.
Oh, Granada. Okay, well, at least you're in the middle of the mid-coast, so you can head out to either direction. And I also heard you mention Ride Plus, and I didn't hear why you said they don't go to Moss Beach or Montera, which really made me mad. And in Moss, it just feels like they completely turn their back on us.
Yeah, well, don't feel like, they turn their back on you. I get where you're coming from. Initially it was a pilot program trying to understand what Ride Plus looks like, because that was the first time kind of like the on-demand type service that San Francisco has had in the past. So I think they were trying to just contain it to a smaller location. Like I said, I believe they're looking at it and seeing about expanding it further along the coast to see if we can get more ridership with the Ride Plus.
But they're still doing
it. I like it. I think it's kind of cool to be able to order it in 10-15 minutes they're here.
Okay, thanks,
working
Sid.
on Ride Plus, is that right? They didn't end the program.
No, the program has not been ended, and I believe that they're reevaluating Ride Plus now on the coast side.
Okay.
But I could double check.
Won't ask any more questions. Sorry. Cut me off.
Dan Haggerty?
Yes, thank you for showing up tonight and showing interest in community service. So I'll follow up similar questions. Number one, your views on the basic spirit of the Coastal Commission, as far as preserving views from the highway, etc. And you already mentioned traffic. And then the conflict of having bicycles actually on the highway versus off the highway. As experience with the Samtrans, there's some heavy vehicle. Teslas are, I believe, 10,000 pounds now, and trucks are, and when these, for whatever reason, veer off the road and, go into a bike lane, versus, actual physically off the highway bike lane to focus. Your thoughts on those views, bike lanes, and Coastal Commission general. Thank you.
I think for the bike lanes, I am a bike rider. I love my bike. When I first moved here from New York, I didn't have a car, so I lived in San Carlos for a little while. I rode my bike everywhere. And so, the bike lanes made me feel safe. So I think bike lanes are important, especially with folks that are riding up and down the coast. And having those dedicated the bike ped lanes. Not sure if that's what you're asking or the question is. And I think the other one was for the views of the coast, or at least of the ocean views. I think driving up and down, there's a lot of development on the side that's currently blocking our views. But I think really it depends on the developer, what's being developed. I think you have to look at everything on case by case basis before a decision is made. Of course, working with the community and see what their thoughts are. I'm not 1,000% against building in the area. I do think there comes, economic growth and some reason to do that. Just have to be thoughtful in making sure that it's being done in a way that is, helping the community and not necessarily, making things like, lack of better words, ugly, and restricting views. So I think it just depends on project by project and really understanding what's being built.
Okay. All right, thank you, Dan. Would anyone else like to ask the applicant a question? I don't see any hands raised. Carl in the room, do you want to ask a question?
Sure. I keep a different mic on each time. This council was originally set up at the end of a war, literally, with the county and the state, Caltrans especially, over the Devil's Slide bypass. And local people in the mid-coast area, especially more so than half of the day, were very much against this bypass. And we flooded every supervisor's meeting, every time this came up anywhere. And they finally got to the point where they said, you people should have a voice, because the county was never doing anything that we liked on the mid-coast. And there was a Pescadero Mid Advisory Council. There was an advisory council in, what is it, Fair Oaks, is it? Over on the side of the hill. There's a Sunset for Broadmoor and so forth, but we had no voice. And Anna Eshu was a supervisor at the time and so forth. She and some of the other supervisors that know about this. We had a couple of local elections. We set up the Midcoast Advisory Council with an election. We elected our first Midcoast councilors. And this was to represent the Midcoast or advise the county and others on the Midcoast. So it wasn't to get along with the county. We love to get along with the county, but it's to advise them on issues for our community here. So many of these issues, like this bus issue, although we're within a few hundred people of the population of Half Moon Bay on the Midcoast, all the attention and effort seems to be centered there. Would you represent the Midcoast people, Midcoast communities to the county? Or would you see, would this cause a problem with you representing us when we're contrary to the county on various issues?
No, I think voices need to be heard, especially the ones on the coast side, and that's why the MCC exists. So it's to get our voices heard and to make sure that they're hearing us in the county, and the supervisors are supportive of the initiatives we have over here. So yes, I don't have any issues with pushing back. Pushback is good.
Yeah. Well, it would be after taking the pulse.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah, depending on absolutely, so depending on what the MCC decides, what the residents want, yes, no issue to represent folks at that level.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions? We don't see any online. Thank you, David.
All right, thank you guys.
It's awesome, thanks.
Thanks, David.
I am attempting to figure out why the fourth candidate hasn't joined the Zoom. I'm not quite sure what to do about that. We may just have to continue on.
Do you want my opinion?
Just a second, I just sent a note to see if maybe she would respond, because she said she would join the meeting. So maybe I think what I'd like to do at this point, while we're taking a few minutes, is for all of you, are there any particular questions you'd like to ask us?
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, please.
Is this to fill out a current term or is this a new, so how long would this fill out these?
So this is to fill a partial term. It would be approximately 3 years. The normal term is 5 years.
No, it's 4 years.
4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Yes, sorry. Said 5 years. 4 years.
You're a therapist, right? I mean, you can talk to you.
Keep talking over 6 years. Like we did attention now.
No, this would be a partial term of 3 years. So you're filling a vacancy. At the end of the year, when some council members will be stepping off, then those seats ideally would be filled by election. But it just happens that because we have a whole year from now to the election, we'd like to have somebody in those seats before then. Other
It's
question?
not hard, by the way, don't let that to be.
Yeah. Tony, did you have a question?
I did, that was actually one of them, thank you for asking that. But my other question was, do you feel that, you know, not just as a council, but do you feel that, like, you're able to make a real difference here, like the decisions that you make and the people that you help, like, make a difference?
That's a great question. Would anybody like to take a stab at that?
Sure, I think we do.
Yeah.
You go first.
I think we do. We don't get everything we want, but not by a long shot. But we do make a difference in terms of what happens. What ends up happening is better than what would have happened if we weren't here. And I think it also gives people in the community a forum that they can crystallize their thoughts around and maybe go off and develop some thoughts of their own often with our support. So we work as a catalyst, and I think we work as a modifier. We don't have power, but we have influence.
That was mostly that was the answer. I would add to that, I think this council is a little different from a lot of others in the amount of interaction it allows with members of the community. Most other places actually don't really allow that. And I personally greatly appreciate that this council operates that way, even though at times can be hard. But I think it is fundamentally more democratic, small democratic, and it was more fundamentally what this country was meant to be, to allow people to engage with their government. And so I think it's good that we allow that, and I think it will, as frustrating as it can be, that we can't just get our way and we can't do anything even happen in Vegas because they're an incorporated city is to do a lot of things on their own without having to ask the supervisor and that kind of thing. Nevertheless, it will, I think, restore some of your faith in this country and the principles it's founded on to participate in it that way.
That's awesome. Thank you.
David, did you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think, no, yes, I'm good.
Well, the next candidate, Katarina, I don't think is online. I don't see her. And I'm not quite sure what to do because she didn't say she was withdrawing. So, Claire is our Sage council member. What happens when candidates don't?
They don't show.
This has happened before. And at some point, they've been given a few opportunities to be here. They're not here.
Train
Move on.
But when train has to leave the station, there'll be opportunities at the end of the year to run for it, if he wants to run for it. Sometimes train's gotta leave.
So at this point, then.
I believe it's unless it's a bar train, which may not.
That's right. Anywhere.
It's coming from like a Japanese train or something.
So I've allowed this process to be, fairly loose this evening because I thought it was really important to get to know the candidates, and I think that's been helpful. We have 3 candidates before us. We have 2 spots. If I recall, and maybe I got this wrong, we were concerned that if we had 3 candidates or less, that we might want to wait on a decision and extend the opening, or
I don't know, we got 3 great candidates.
I
think we should listen.
If you require a vote, we can
I think we
certainly
should
vote
listen.
on that if you want to decide, or we can.
I thought we said less.
So that is my question to the council. Are we comfortable voting tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want us to be out?
No, you have, but you can leave if you want. But this is the worst part of the whole thing, is you have to sit here and listen to us talk about you. And vote either for or against you. It's a horrible thing. If you want to leave, go ahead, but you're welcome to stay.
Okay.
So what Claire says is true, unfortunately. The county council advises us that we have to deliberate in public and we have to say how we voted, which is very awkward. So I'll just say that it's, none of this is personal. We're all trying to carefully make decisions based on all kinds of things. And so, like they said, I think you're all great candidates. If you're the person not chosen tonight, we will need somebody to fill spots at the end of the year. So this is not your last opportunity. And we welcome you, whoever is that outlier, to come back at the end of the year and go for it.
All three can be on the council.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when, in my opinion.
And if you need help with the actual election process, I would go with you we go together to the election office if you want to run. And this goes for anybody in the public in November.
It's not a run for Congress or something. It's
yes.
Okay, so with that, we have about 15 minutes, and I think we can do this. I will bring it back to the council for discussion. Anybody like to?
Sure. I mean, to me, it's very, very hard. I think all three of us should in fact be on this council. If we could like pack the council and just add more seats, like just do that, because I think they're all pretty great. I'm basically deciding just based on the amount of relevant experience they already have. That's the rubric I'm using for having, right? I'm gonna have to make a choice I don't even really want to make, but that's the rubric I'm gonna use.
Okay.
Do you want to announce that out of maybe I just figure I would just announce that as the rubric that I'm using and kind of see how everybody else is viewing the decision before we actually start trying to.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Carl?
Can I make something, can I make a gesture?
Yeah.
If it was easier, I can easily step off and come back later.
No.
No. Because,
the reason is if we only have two candidates, then we would have to extend to have more than, the whole point is we need more.
Got it, yes, I need to adjust.
Sorry, you can't get off that easy. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'm just gonna say that I'm prepared to vote at this time.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, fine.
Well, I just want to say thank you because I know it's not easy to put yourself out to do this, so really appreciate it. It's not easy to get up in front of the public and speak, particularly first time, so really thank you. And I agree, like, it would be great to have all three of you on the council with us. Unfortunately, we can't do that tonight, but I would be ready to vote too. But hope that whoever is not will come back because we really need the support and the help, and you guys seem like fantastic people to help us, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. Claire?
One of the things that we kind of keep in the back of our minds, it's not a primary thing, but it's a thing, is geographic representation. Because at one point we had almost everybody from Alberta. And what I'm really pleased about is you guys are from 3 different cities, 3 different towns. So we've got our geographic representation here.
So that's 2 Montero, 1 El Granado?
No, 1 Must Beach, 1
Pillow Point.
1 Must Beach, 1 Montero, and 1 El Granado.
Pillow Ridge, not Pillow Point.
Pillow Ridge is Must Beach, right?
No, yeah, just a few Air Force people.
Okay.
Seals.
Whatever.
Okay. That's a great point. We have a diverse geographic distribution. Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. You're 3 great candidates. You all bring like really important things to the table. That ideally we would, have all of them. But we do have to make a hard choice. And so I think for me, I'm definitely looking for a diversity of opinion. And sort of that the geographic representation is important. Yeah, I think those are the things top of mind right now to me. It's just that it's more diversity on the council, I think, is important. So at this point, we have to take an actual vote. And I think the way we're supposed to do it is, I know how we did it last time where you wrote down everybody's vote and then you announced. But I think what county council said is we're supposed to announce who we voted for.
We can still do the writing down thing, but then whoever reads it has to say, Claire voted for so-and-so.
Oh, I see.
It has to be identified.
What would your preference be?
I think that's really just a total of announce who got the most votes and then say how the like how it broke down by names.
I think using the paper is good because then you can't, I'm not gonna be influenced by Gus's vote.
Sure, yeah, that's good, yes.
Okay.
Well, let's try it that way then.
So are we gonna vote for one person or two people?
You have
Two people?
Can I have a piece of paper? Bring any paper,
I know we did this electronically last.
So I was the secretary when this happened last time, when I had this grid thing to go on.
No, we need 2 pieces of paper. So on one piece of paper, we're using.
You just write 2 names on one piece of paper.
Great, got it.
And 2 names in your own, 3 names.
Yeah, right, exactly. Who said that? That was an organized person.
Right.
There was an organized person that said it.
No, don't ask my wife. Don't say that.
Do I read them?
So that's the thing, right? Either one of us reads the total.
Yeah, either the secretary or the
secretary should read the total.
I think the secretary.
Okay, so pass them to me when you get it done.
Okay.
So for me, the most important thing about there is time, how much time you have left, and you're volunteering your time, and I think that's amazing. You know, it's the most important thing. We only have a limited amount, you can't find it, you know, so you're giving something very valuable to the community. And we really appreciate that.
Thank you. It's encouraging to see how it all works and, see everyone there. Thank you for volunteering your time.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Am I waiting for yours?
You're waiting for yours. Sorry,
You're just thinking.
Make my decision.
Yeah, it is hard.
Okay. So what do? I just read
Tally them up,
those?
or just tally them up.
Okay, so I have, do I tell how many votes?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
need to know.
Tony, 5 votes. David, 3 votes. Kurt, 2 votes. And then I have to read who wrote what? Is this, you didn't put your name out?
You call me anything.
Yeah. 2 votes. But you'll be back.
Yeah.
So Kimberly voted for Tony and Carl. I voted for Tony and Carl. Connie voted for Tony and David. Gus voted for Tony and David, and Scott voted for Tony and David. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We do want you to come back.
We do want you to come, please come back.
I will keep that.
Start attending meetings so that you're ready to go when you get back.
That's a 2 or 3 minutes.
I'll have to read the most of the LCD, everybody should read that.
Yeah.
Super hard decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I take no offense, I understand it, and
These two guys are gonna be great for you.
You were one vote away.
That's close.
Well, that was kind of my thinking, right? That David would be more likely to run, whereas Carl would be more likely to
I don't think
be
he's.
roped in through appointment.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay, so you need to know what happens next.
Yeah.
I will lead you guys there, right? I should, or should I?
You can say it, okay.
It's up to you.
No, I just wanna make sure I wasn't doing anything here that, you know.
No,
So-
no. Yeah.
So next steps are that the council will then submit a formal recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. At which point the Board of Supervisors will vote to approve or not at their upcoming meeting. We'll let you know when that is. And then once you're formally approved, there will be a swearing in. Where the supervisor or his representative will come and will actually be sworn in. And we will have, you'll probably come to a first meeting and then we will have a retreat plan where we'll have an opportunity to learn about all the things the council does. And our upcoming strategic plan of the year.
We probably should submit Carl's name as the alternate in case
Yes.
something goes wrong with one of the first two.
Could we do that?
Yeah, we did that last year. We did that last year,
Mhm.
so would you be okay to be an alternate?
Sure.
It may be that the supervisor will contact you beforehand just to verify that
I am who I am.
y'all who are who you are.
Yes.
So they may or may not contact you, but we want to get it on the agenda as quickly as we can.
And the supervisor may have his own questions, so. yeah.
Can I request that you summarize the names, full names of the two that were?
Oh, yes. So the council formally recommends Antonio Conti and David Santoro. Those are definitely names, right?
Thank you.
Thank you all so
Thank you
much.
guys.
So we have a canned letter already, that you can just, I submitted one of these to the county already, I've wrote it up and submitted it, so you could just copy and paste on that thing.
So here's a process question. Do we need to vote to send the letter of recommendation?
I think we just did,
Yeah,
so.
we did.
So the chair just sends or the secretary?
We just voted on, so. Good. I think it's duplicative.
Okay, good. Well, that concludes the meeting tonight. Thank you all, and we're adjourned.
Go to. Thank you. Yeah.